Hey guys, this is Wolf of Dimensions coming back at you with a brand new video. This time it is my thoughts and opinions, mostly a review over the new Shin Godzilla SH Monsterarts figure. Now, this isn't my favorite out of the SH Monsterarts, to be honest. The one that I think looks the best is the GMK one. Now, that doesn't mean GMK is my favorite. To be honest, I think Legendary Goji or 1964 Goji SH Monsterarts are my favorite, but that's moving on. This is probably a box view right here, probably a pre-made box view. What we can see is the figure is a lot more black than red, so most of the red highlights are either hard to see or they're just too dark. I think that this figure is a little bit too black, like in color, from the pictures we've seen in my tastes. It has a lot of articulation, though, from what I'm seeing. Now, here's an up-close view of the arms, upper chest area, face. The red background I don't think helps, but it'll have to do. Now, there are many detailed things. We have a good detailed view of the mouth, the upper head, the neck. The neck looks pretty good. No complaints about it. The chest looks pretty good, the spike. And the thing is that people were wondering what this was. Some people were what was on his chest. That is the breastbone that almost every Godzilla has. So, if you look closely in all the Showa Godzillas, they all have that one breastbone running down along the chest. But moving on from that, his hands look really good from here. There's a lot of articulation. This might be the most articulated one, possibly. That's what I think, because there's so many more things to this one than the others. So, I think on to the next one. And here's the same picture, but a wider view shot. Now, his tail is of course pretty long, about the same size, if not a little longer. And we get a good look at his spines. Now, I made this comment before, but his spines don't really remind me of 54 Goji at all. They mostly remind me of 84 Goji, when he had those multiple rows and they were shorter and more were running along the lower side. Because his dorsal spines are kind of short, it's not like Godzilla 54, in which there was one really tall dominant line. So I think this Godzilla is a bit different from 54, especially, yes, tail length. Neck length is almost the same, maybe a little bit longer. The legs are pretty detailed, though, here. I like how the legs look in this image. Also, the side of the body. This picture is going to be a bit harder to see, but as we can see from the photo, the detail, there's a lot of black coloration over, what is that, over red coloration. And it's been a while since we've had a purely black colored Godzilla, charcoal black. The last time was, what, 2004, and even then it was more recent, so that's pretty interesting. Here's a frontal view. You can see his rib cage, like we can see in the commercials. You can see the outline of his tail parts are that brighter red, which I really like. It's really portrayed. The front of the face, you can see, and you can see how the legs actually are supposed to look compared to that one photo, and nothing looks wrong. It's just the lower area of his body beside his legs that made the image twisted, I think. But as we get into more detail, there are tons of lines, curves, little dots, details, and that's what makes these figures so great, is that they're so amazingly detailed that it's crazy. It's awesome, in my opinion. So, on to the next piece. The neck, you can see, a neck actually has three points of articulation, which is pretty good. Right here we have a new view, and in this view, we get a good look at the side of his face. Now, the face is an important part of this figure to me. What this figure looks like, how his face is, and everything about it will be an important character. Also, you can see the grooves in his tail, which is a good thing, because most Godzillas have those grooves, but these are way more defined. It's like each tail is its own individual piece, which is pretty unique and awesome. Now you also get a better look at the tail joint at the end, and it is still very interesting. I'm curious to know what it is, like everyone else is. Um, Also, if you notice, his chest piece is not as dominant in this photo. I'm not sure what it is. Also, people were saying about the whole A and B monster on another figure set. SH Monsterarts released this, so unless this their go-to figure is this one, and this is the finished Godzilla, that means that there's another form of Godzilla that they might release. And as of right here, you can see how his mouth opens. And what I meant by his jaw was mutated in one of my last videos is that the skin that holds the jaw together is not really there. So his mouth stretches open more like a snake's does, which is pretty awesome because it makes him more terrifying. To see a creature whose mouth opens almost all the way at such a wide angle would be terrifying to see. Also, how the articulation is pointed, I think we're getting a good look at how he moves, or at least how he might position himself in some parts of the movie, which I think is pretty awesome because I don't think SH Monsterarts would put him in positions that he wouldn't be able to do. So seeing this means that we might get a good look at what he will do in the future movie. And this angle, I really like this, the bent over down angle. On the tail, you get to see the little, I think those are vertebrae. I think that's actually part of his body. Those little spikes at the end of his tail. And as we keep going, his mouth is still really wide open. And he looks terrifying. If you saw that from a different angle, like from below it, he'd be scary. The dorsal spines, I like the shape. I like the design. I like how they're more bony and structural. And I also noticed that from right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, for me, 13 visible points of articulation just in the body alone, and there's probably more than that from a different angle. So that is pretty awesome too. Moving on, I decided to zoom into the tail so we get a good look at the length and those spikes I was talking about. Running along the tail are a bunch of little juts and spikes, and I think that's again part of its bones. I think that's part of its tail bones that are jutting out from his skin being melted and twisted. And I think that's why his tail has that flat bottom. I think it was melted to the point where it doesn't have a full round shape anymore. Oh, now here's one of my favorite parts. They did really good on the highlighting of the red on the back. It really looks kind of almost sickening and twisted when you look at the back of this Godzilla. Terrifying, even. So I love the detail of red they did put on the back. I actually like it. It's one of the few things I really, really like about this figure. I don't have any major complaints with it. Its overall looks really good, and I'm hoping that they release the other form of Godzilla, if not the other kaiju, if they put one in. Now, not saying there will be another kaiju, but if they do, there is a and B figure, and maybe we get to see another form of Godzilla. But so far, we have this one. Thanks for watching, guys. Like, comment, subscribe. If you have any ideas for any type of videos, tell me. I'm free to do anything. Thank you for watching, guys. This is Wolf of Dimensions, signing out.